The Dark Realm is a difficult place to live. Plants grow weakly and twisted in the lack of sunlight. Mercenary work and banditry are rife, as it pays more than basic farming or hunting. The realm at large is ruled over from the great city of Guardia, an overpopulated, sinful place ruled over by a baleful king that we haven't seen in years. There is an elven kingdom to the south, ruled by the sequestered shadow elves, a dwarven kingdom lost to the mountains of the west, and a tiefling kingdom among the volcanic rock of the islands in the north. Great patches of our land are poisoned and deserted. There are tribal villages, beasts, goblins, and orc warbands, of course, but we're trapped here. The mists are a mystery. Most who enter them never return. Those that do are changed in such a way that they are unrecognizable or utterly insane. Nothing comes out of the mist, but it surrounds us, calls out, poisons, frightens. Couple that with the almost endless darkness, and the Dark Realm is a very difficult place to live.
Even though I know the way, somehow I have gone astray. I cannot stay. Darkness inside. Even though the path is clear, my mind tells me it's not real. It can't be real. The light inside. The mist, it hides.
Where am I?
I don't think either of us are anywhere right now.
You?
Not really, but I suppose so.
Either way, I'll cut you down. Show yourself.
You're not here. Neither am I. You're probably dying. Are you in the mist? Did you come looking for me? I don't smell you.
You wish you meant that much to anyone. The reason I'm here is no business of yours.
So you are in the mist. If you're looking for Vardane, you didn't make it. But I did. I'm stronger now, Fire. Be careful in here, sweet sister. The mist does strange things to our kind.
We return to the village of Kull, and Salam's tavern. And as the fog dissipates from inside the tavern, we see Will carrying the limp body of Fire, who has lots of dark, necrotic, arcane damage to her body, mostly shown through these dark veins and blackened eyes. As the fog dissipates, there is the horrible, enormous body of a Grell on one side of the room, and then the gore of a Jester who exploded. There's also Fix, probably stumbling to their legs, with a horrible wound in their side from the Grell's bite, and Merlin probably turning around in circles, looking a little confused. What do you guys do?
I'm immediately walking back over towards the other two of them and still carrying Fire with me. Checking on Fix specifically. And we'll just yell out to her, "Are you okay? Can you stand?"
I'm fine. What happened to Fire?
She chased him outside and tried to confront him.
Is she okay?
Doesn't look like it.
I tried to warn you about how dangerous he was. Why does nobody listen? Did he leave?
I didn't see him, and frankly, if he were here, we'd be dead.
We need to burn that. Point at the Grell corpse.
We can do that, but we have a more pressing concern. I'm going to start moving upstairs to where I remember that room was that I stayed in last time that had a big proper bed in it.
Yep, you can do that.
Merlin will follow them.
And then I'll go up there and I'll motion for Merlin to open the door, rather, because my hands are full.
Merlin would do just that, and he'd also start preparing his herbalism kit.
What are you trying to do?
If I can, I'd like to heal Fire.
First of all, give me a medicine check and an arcana check. See if you can figure out what's going on here. If you understand what has happened to her.
17 medicine, 14 arcana.
17 medicine, 14 arcana. So, Fire is alive and in an unconscious state. You get the sense that it's a deeper sleep than usual, the type of thing that comes with comas, that kind of sense. The damage to her body has certainly been caused by a very powerful necromantic spell, the type of thing that would remove energy or osmose life. With this, it seems to have targeted her blood directly, essentially killing it to a degree. The damage she's suffered is severe, but there isn't a lot that you can do to fix it, unless you can provide some sort of arcane dialysis. She really just needs to rest. Whether she comes back to is a relative question mark, and when that happens is also a bit of a question mark. The effects of the spell and the magic are still very strong on and in Fire here. So the first thing that needs to happen is the arcane element of the magic needs to leave her, and then her blood needs to recover, essentially. It might be a little while, but putting her in a bed and letting her rest, keeping an eye on her is a good idea. But generally, potions and salves aren't going to do a lot because there hasn't been any real surface damage. Not a lot that you can do.
I think then Merlin would turn. Oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I think Merlin would then turn to Will and shake his head as he would then return to his herbalism kit and just start packing it up.
I will set her down on the one good bed in the building, and then other than checking for a pulse and make sure she's breathing, I don't think Will has much other first aid experience, so I would just turn to Merlin and say, anything you can do?
This is beyond me. This is beyond my magic. The best we can really do is let her rest.
I had a feeling you'd say that. It's not your fault. This is vile stuff. Whatever you did to her. But she is still breathing and she still has a pulse. I don't know that there's much else we can do, really. Keep an eye on her for me, would you?
I will.
I'll be back.
I'm not leaving her side.
And I will go out looking to see what Fix has been doing, unless she followed us and was standing there the whole time.
No, I am downstairs. I'm the furthest wall from the grell, just watching it while you're upstairs.
Alright. Yeah, I will go back down and just walk straight to the grell and start dragging it out the side of the building.
You can do that.
I'll try and help. Kind of ineffectually.
The barmaid, who for the most of the fight was screaming and hiding and cowering with some of the other patrons, walks over to where you are and says, "Oh my god, that thing again."
Yeah, well, I learned from my mistakes, and Will is gonna stick a torch into the thing immediately as soon as we get it outside.
Oh my god, that smells so bad.
Enough of this.
What is it? And why do they keep attacking you?
Maybe it's your tavern they're attracted to.
Why?
The salami. Might want to get rid of it all.
Will is just gonna look at Fix.
Not even that monster would eat the salami. Oh, let me get you
I
all a
thought the
drink
salami
or
was okay.
something, alright? You want something like really... I've got a bottle of white stuff. I don't even know what it is, but it's strong.
Clean water upstairs, second room on the right.
Clean water? Well, I'll try and get clean water. I could boil some.
Do it.
Alright. She hurries off behind the bar.
What happened to Fire? Is she okay?
While I was trying to contend with this thing in the fog, actually it was before the fog. She ran past me and she said something about, I see him, or he's there. And I can only presume she meant Arias. I didn't see him myself, but she ran past me out the door to go confront him, and I would have gone with her, but you had your own problems, and I didn't think splitting us all up was a good idea.
Oh, I appreciate that. I heard him, you know. As soon as the thing grabbed me, he laughed. I'm sure he found it all very amusing.
Of course he did. This whole thing was a joke to him.
Why did he even bother coming back for us if there's something so important going on in the mists? Why is he toying with us?
Could be.
And how did he know where we were?
That I can't answer. I would suspect that he was testing the effectiveness of this new toy of his.
Do you think this is the extent of his power?
I doubt it. If Think about it. If this were his greatest creation, if this were the extent of his power, he wouldn't have been so willing to walk away from it. He would have walked over and he would have slashed the elf's throat, and then he would have come and done something to me too, while you were busy in the fog.
Unless he knows he can do it again and again and again.
That's the thing. He clearly doesn't take us seriously. He had a moment right there to end all of us, and he didn't take it.
How are we going to deal with him when we were so easily defeated by one of his undead minions?
For starters, we need to all be on the same page and start fighting as a team.
It would be uncharitable to speak poorly of those who are in danger right now, but perhaps we should tell that to Fire.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Are you okay?
Who speaks?
You see the half-elf who was selling potions, Merritt, the alchemist in town, walking towards you. He looks concerned. There's probably a handful of townsfolk as well around the area, some of them watching what you're doing with this creature, some of them just kind of gathering awkwardly around the commotion at the tavern. But through them moves this sort of bespectacled half-elf, and he says, are you quite all right? What was all that, ruckus?
The usual.
Oh, well, yes, well, they're quite rowdy, in these parts. I've brought you your ingredients that you were looking for.
Can I check if there's anything deeper to that sentence? Because last time we were here and I asked about these things, they told us that none of these had ever come out of the mist before, that like it was the first time. So I just sarcastically said the usual because this is twice, but he just said they're often rowdy, like something doesn't add up. Can I insight check him?
Give me an insight check. 5.
Here we go again.
Something very suspicious about his demeanor, but you can't tell what it is or what it might pertain to.
You're on my list, pal. No, I'm now deeply suspicious of this man thanks to the way he phrased that, but I have bigger problems, so... Right.
What is that god-awful smell?
It's this thing. Burning.
What is that?
Some undead monstrosity from the mists.
Undead what?
I don't know.
That looks like it belongs under the sea.
Right. Does look like a octopus or something.
Yes.
I need you to come look at the patient.
The patient?
Yes, someone was injured. They're upstairs.
No, you were a doctor. I suppose I can see what I can do, yes.
I mean, if you've made healing salves and potions in the past, maybe you'll recognize whatever sort of toxin is affecting her.
Very well, yes. Lead the way.
Fix, can you take him upstairs? I'm not leaving this thing until I watch it burn to ash.
Yeah, I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Follow me.
You lead him up and into the tavern. He kind of surveys some of the damage, walks awkwardly around the kind of pile of jester gore, and follows you towards the short stairs that lead up to the back end of the tavern where there are the few rooms. Walking into the room, he sees Fire, sees Merlin, and says, here, perhaps you should hold on to this, and hands you, Merlin, the piece of paper.
He takes it. What is this?
Paper has the ingredients of 3 potions on it. The first of which you will recognize as a potion of healing. Very simple potion made of the amanita mushrooms, which are those classic looking toadstools, the red with white dots on them. Pretty common in forested areas and swamps. You've probably seen them all over the place, even here. And you have to add it to boiling water, which is very clean, and leave it for 24 hours, and it becomes a potion of healing. There's also a Thieves Potion, which is the one that he described to you before. It's the one that you've been walking around with and he said that you'll need to find a drop of Yeti's blood. It does say that you need dandelion root, cinnamon, crow's bane, which is a poisonous plant, but it's a very common one. You'll need mushrooms of any kind, ogre's oil, which is exactly what you think it is, onion juice, and a single drop of Yeti's blood. Then you have to place the vial on a thief until the thief steals something, and then secretly remove it. So you have to put it on a thief secretly, and then the thief needs to steal something, and then you need to get it off of the thief. And then after 3 days, the potion will be ready. Whoever makes the potion never forgets it. So you know how you guys are forgetting it as you're passing it back and forth. Whoever made the potion will never forget or lose its location, or won't, lose the memory of it. And then there is a potion of finding, which was something that you requested, the ability to just create a potion to find someone of any sort, of which you need cat hair, wolf hair, gremlin's wisp, and a hair of the one you wish to find. Alternatively, you can dip any item they own in the concoction other than a hair. So you have a hair, or you can find an item they own, dip it in the concoction, and it becomes a potion of finding. Of course, you need to be an alchemist of sorts. You need to successfully put these things through a herbalism kit, or waste the ingredients. But those are the ingredients to the 3 potions on there. Merlin, you'll recognize it and kind of understand it in general. You might understand what parts to which you would need, but whether you do it successfully comes down to a check. And also finding all of the ingredients comes down to either downtime foraging, but we probably won't do a lot of downtime foraging when you're on the move. You can state that you're looking for certain ingredients and things like that. So he hands you the piece of paper, and then looks over towards the bed and looks up and down and says, well, what precisely did this? Some sort of ivy?
It's not what, it was who.
Oh.
And I believe Fix here can maybe, if she wishes to.
You saw the thing outside?
Oh.
The wizard who managed to reanimate that also managed to do this, and it's not poison, it's arcane.
Right, yes. Well, this is quite severe. A wizard.
Yes, a wizard.
This is quite a powerful wizard
Yes,
that she has made
we
an
are
enemy
aware.
of. Is he still around?
Hopefully not.
Right. Well, this is quite beyond my measure. I can see if I have any salves, but I don't think any of it is going to help with this.
Merlin, would a salve help?
I don't even think that would help. Anything to make her comfortable right now is all we can do.
Yes, I would suggest that you let this work its course, although with these sort of necromancy spells, you should be very cautious. I might suggest binding her wrists and legs.
Binding?
Yeah.
What do you propose would happen?
Well, if should she not recover, she may come back, not quite as herself.
She will recover.
Very
Is
well.
there anybody else in this town who can help?
There's a doctor of sorts, but I'd say he's more of a butcher, type to lop off a rotten finger or pull a bad tooth rather than deal with something of this nature.
Okay. Thank you for your help.
I'll happily go and see if I have anything that can help in my stores.
We would appreciate
That
that.
would be most kind.
He excuses himself and walks out. Fire, can you make me a death saving throw, please?
Mm-hmm.
A 15 is a make, and we're going to shift scenes here a little bit. Fire, at the beginning of this stream, there was a conversation that you had in a dreamlike state. And that is where we're picking up with you. You find yourself in a strange environment, much like the one that you recognized from your strange vision, the dream. In the distance is the iris tree that you recognize to be your home, or your previous home. However, in your immediate surroundings, there is a thick fog, very similar to the mist that you were in. You hear a voice when you come to, and you speak very briefly with your own brother, somebody that you haven't seen in a long time. And in the distance, you can hear voices speaking, not as if they're behind you, but as if they're kind of echoing from a distance. You can hear the voices of Will and Fix, Merlin, and that alchemist Merritt. They seem so far away that to even try and reach them, it makes you feel listless, tired. Your body is aching all over, as if burning from the inside, and there's a weakness to your muscles like you've not ever felt. When you move your arms and legs, it feels a little bit like you're underwater. You realize that you have no weapons, no items, and no clothing on. You really can only make out the iris tree in the distance, but give me 2 perception checks, actually, please. With disadvantage, sorry. A 3. And a 19. So, the first thing you notice is that appearing in this mist ahead of you, shadowy, older, distinctly taller, is your brother. He is lost in this fog, lost in this darkness as well, and very much a shadowy figure. Far from you, close to you, it's hard to make out distance. Beyond him is the iris tree, and beyond that you see a very tall looking tower. It looks like the type of tower you might see in a position overlooking a bluff or a coastal region. Not a lighthouse, but something that they might have used as a lookout or a watchtower, that kind of a thing. Kind of square and tapering upwards towards the top. And as you focus on the top of it, it hurts your eyes to see, but there is a kind of a deep mauve or purpley color emanating from it. It lights up some of the sky in the distance. Your brother explains that you might be dying. You tell him that you want to cut him down, and then he turns away from you. There's a click-clack as if he's wearing steel toed boots, and he says, "So where are you?"
Home?
"Oh, you're not home. I'd know if you were here."
Where are you?
"Somewhere near home, I think."
You think?
It's hard to concentrate.
Why?
Oh, I barely know who I am.
Lucky you.
You're my sister. But who am I?
You're my brother.
What did you do to make me hate you so much?
I wish I knew the answer.
I can feel it burning.
Why are you here?
I think for the same reason as you.
I doubt that.
Do you see it? The tower. The temple.
Temple to what?
I don't know. But I think if I go there, I'll know everything.
Where did you go?
I didn't go anywhere. I couldn't come back.
Are you working with someone?
Working with someone? I think so. No. Something more like.
What is it?
I don't know. Do you?
If I knew, I wouldn't tell you.
Do you think you're going to die?
I don't know.
You should hope that you do.
Why's that?
He moves again, and there's that click-clacking sound. He moves through this mist before you, and from the waist up, he's still kind of humanoid. His skin has hardened over, though, scaly, almost like chitin. His face remains the shape it should be, and his hair is still long and falling around it straight. But there are two more sets of eyes above the two that you remember, and from the waist down, his body is that of a giant spider. As he's moving towards you, the clicking and clacking of his feet are loud. They echo off of invisible walls. He says, "This is what happens to all of us in here for too long."
I touch above my eyes to make sure that I don't have multiple sets.
You'll have to give me a perception check. 16. You feel skin there. It doesn't feel tough or anything like that. But as you feel a little further up, you can feel that you have two hardened lumps that feel kind of like horns, like a tiefling would have.
Do you have them?
What?
Nothing. Can I see horns on him?
Not really. I'll give you a kind of image. give you an idea of how he kind of looks. He's looking really, really different to you. Almost as if he's armored naturally across his skin. He says to you, "They call us Driders. There's a few."
Looks like they just made the inside match the outside, brother.
No. If you die in here, you're joining us.
So you died in here?
Not a true death.
It's unfortunate. What is it?
What?
The mist.
I think I used to know.
You don't remember anything.
I remember feelings when they come to me. Here for the first time, I remember you, hating you.
The scar doesn't make you feel anything?
Roll me a death save. Another make. Back in the tavern, the other members of the party, who is in the room at the moment with Fire?
Me.
And me.
And Will is outside.
If it takes this long to burn a grell, then yes, I'm watching it.
It'd be like burning a horse, maybe.
And I'm still outside.
But it is already very rotten. So it's probably taking a little quicker. There's no blood or liquid or moisture to it really once it dropped dead. So for those of you that are still in the room with Fire, something horrible begins to happen. She suddenly shifts in the bed. There's a few rumblings as her body convulses, and there is a distinct sense of arcane energy, Merlin, that registers on you. Then she spits up bloodied black ichor, and her eyes open suddenly. She looks at the room through black eyes, and then, steadying herself slowly, she sits up. Her head and shoulders are sort of floating lazily, and she speaks, but she says, just enough blight left in her to have a short palaver. You are a curious bunch, aren't you? So it was you who felled my mist creature. And twice. I have some questions for you all, but we haven't much time. You recognize the voice of Arias speaking through Fire's lips. He brings Fire's hands up in front of his face, turning them over, and looks more towards you, Fix and says, "How did you exit the mountain? I can't believe you took any route but the mist."
It wasn't difficult when you know how.
But how do you know how?
As if I'd tell you.
You, gnome. You can't possibly have the strength.
Size doesn't matter here, bub.
No, maybe not. So, you've survived the mist with barely a scratch on you. While you're competent fighters, I'm surprised to see you all, well, sane.
Sanity seems relative around here anyway.
Not this kind of sanity. It can't be you, Tiefling. I would have known when this was done to you.
What couldn't have been me? What are you talking about?
You do not command enough power over your demon to shield the effects for your comrades. So one of you has figured it out. Wizard. A secret spell hidden up your small sleeves, perhaps?
Ain't telling you nothing.
What did you experience in there? You must have seen something.
Why are you bothering us? Surely there's something very important going on in the mists.
Oh yes. Something very, very important. More important than you. Your petty vengeance.
So why are you here?
How are you here? That is why I'm here. Curious. Curious. In you. Your little band.
I hope you enjoy this now. Because we will be coming for you one day.
Yes, I'm sure you will. Before then, perhaps you'd be interested in doing a little work for me.
You think we would work for you when you've just done this to our friend?
This was necessary.
No, it wasn't.
Do you think you would sit and talk to me if I took a stool?
What do you want?
I am at Som's Point. There is a small orphanage here. 2 or 3 children, one of whom is a tiefling, ripe for experimentation.
Fuck you.
Precisely. I would be willing to forego this experimentation in exchange for another experiment.
You are disgusting.
You. One of you is clearly able to subdue the effects of the mist, which means you may be able to travel even further into it than I.
What is it that's in the mists that you want so much? If you're so powerful, why can't you go get it yourself?
Long ago I discovered a tower in that mist, a small thing between Kull and Jairus. That little tower contained an ancient-looking satchel, and it belonged to somebody known as Nathan Silvertongue. Come now, take notes. The contents had long since fallen to rot, but a few notes remained, claiming that the resting place of one Eldarin Greymane is in a tomb, a graveyard, north of Kull. You simply have to follow a broken road. And in all my years, I've never been able to range so far into the mist that I could make it to this tomb. But perhaps you can. Do this for me and maybe we can work together
For mutual interests, greater interests.
What's the guarantee you don't just kill the child anyway? Or as good as?
I suppose you have no guarantee. But my word.
Think that's worth something?
The fact of the matter is, I'm not sure if this tiefling child is who I've even been looking for all this time.
Is that why you did it to us? Oh, you're looking for something? None of us were good enough?
None of you were who I was looking for.
And what happens if this isn't the person you're looking for either? You just continue on and on, ruining lives?
I'm hoping that the missing piece of my puzzle is in that graveyard, in that tomb.
And then what?
And then we shall see what the puzzle presents when it is solved.
What is it you want? More power? Domination?
Nothing so trivial.
Get out of my friend's body.
Very well. I shall be watching you with great interest. Let's hope your friend pulls through.
Get out.
Fire, give me a death saving throw. 15 is another make. You cough, you sputter, you convulse, and you wake up. As you touch the scar on your face in your own dream, there is a sharp lance of pain through your face. You also see this strange centaur-like spider, this derided version of your brother, reacts to the same lance of pain almost, but his hand draws back, and then you're awake. Fix says, get out of my friend's body, or get out, as you awake, and Merlin looking at you. No sign of Will.
It's nice to see you too, Fix.
Are you? Are you Fire?
Unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately? By God, I'm glad you're okay.
I relish this moment because I don't think I'll ever be this glad to see you again.
Anyone mind telling me what happened? Oh.
You are looking so under the weather. Well, let's just say, a certain somebody took hold of your body and, did a whole bunch of freaky things. Okay, wait, no. You know what, maybe, Fix, maybe you could tell her.
Will?
Will's downstairs.
Will's downstairs.
Well, then perhaps you should go get Will.
Yeah, I'll go get him.
Who did freaky things to my body? What?
First of all, what happened to you? You ran out of the tavern, and the next thing I know, you're looking like some charred corpse from within.
Ooh. Yeah. I made a mistake. A lapse of judgment.
Go on.
I saw him, and I thought I could... He was smirking. And I just bolted. Whoops.
Yes, that is the problem with Arius. He is very good at gloating. You can't rise to it. I'm sure you've learned that by now.
That's one lesson learned.
You were comatose.
How
What?
long?
I don't know, an hour. You sat upright and began talking to us as Arias. But I will wait for Will to get here before I discuss what he said, because if I try and say it more than once, I will probably throw up again.
Speak of the devil.
She's awake.
Was I putting on a voice? What do you mean?
I think he was possessing your body.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, well, there's a lot to take in. Come, sit down. And he pulls a stool for Will.
Okay. Nothing outside is nothing but ash. We won't see it again. What? Good to see you up. What did I miss?
Apparently someone did freaky things to my body.
Seems Arias has a quest for us.
I'm not sure which of those sentences worries me more.
Sorry, it's the phrasing. Well, we can say that, Osiris took hold of Fire's body and was speaking through her. It was, yeah, that's what I meant was freaky, okay? Yeah.
I had a whole different image.
Back up. In order. From the top, after I left, what happened?
Fire started jerking around and sat up in bed and started talking in Arias' voice. It was quite disturbing.
No recollection of that?
Well, that's probably for the best, all things considered.
Uh-huh.
He wanted to know how we made it through the mist. And of course we didn't tell him. He
There's not
also...
much to tell. We just killed everything that got in our way.
Of course, but it's better that he thinks that we have something up our sleeves than that we just meddle through it like a bunch of idiots somehow. He wants something in the mists. He says there's a tower at the end of the pathway, and he wants something from the tower.
A tower.
The tower.
Tower. Do you have a description of this tower?
Tall and tower-like. I didn't really stop to chat about semantics with him.
If I had to guess, I'd say it has a purple light at the top.
What?
I know the one.
What?
You do?
You know of the tower?
The vision I had before I changed. I saw the tower.
When
From
I was
the
out, I
outside.
saw it.
You both saw the same tower.
Maybe?
Tall.
Mine seemed more like a lighthouse.
Yeah. Squared off. Purple. Purple light. Eerie. Exactly
Could be
what you
very
would
well
think
be.
when you would think of an evil tower in a dark mist.
Sort of. I mean, I observed this tower from the deck of a ship in the sea. I could see it on the cliff's edge. Unless, of course, there's more than one of these towers. But,
I don't think so.
yeah.
I'm starting
I
to
saw
believe
it.
that coincidences aren't a thing around here.
No, they're very much not.
He wants something from that tower. He wants some notes. A satchel. Something.
Right. Well, whatever he wants from that tower, probably in our best interest to prevent him from getting it.
He wants to... He threatened to take another child. In Sum's Point.
So he is in Som's Point, or his men are.
Yes, he's in some point. But we can't
And
face
that's
him
where
right
you should
now.
go.
What are we going to do? Rock up? There's 4 of us, half dead. Try and confront him face to face. Tell him to
I
stop
don't think
doing
I
whatever
can
evil
walk.
shit he's doing.
Do you think he's going to stop this evil stuff he's doing if you comply with his orders?
Do you really think I want to be complying with his orders?
That wasn't my question, Fix.
I don't think he will stop. But I can't just let another child be subjected to the same fate.
What fate would that be?
He's looking for a certain child. He wouldn't say why.
What does he do with them? Do you know?
He's...
Same thing he did to you.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but do I look like me?
No.
You've
Oh.
had better days.
What's off? What do you mean?
Well, you look like maybe you could use more sleep. But other than that, it's good to have you back, Fire.
Do
I
I
have
look
the
like him?
barmaid bring up some clean water
No,
for you.
no.
Maybe glance into the reflection over there.
You've got a mirror, haven't you, Merlin?
Oh, yes, I do. And he immediately pulls out his little pocket mirror.
Is it a normal one? Wasn't it special in some way?
Well, you will always feel good about yourself, let's just say that.
Wow. Ooh, I look great. You should hit. Well, no, I can't really walk, but I was feeling better. You should hit the town.
I think...
I feel like death.
Yes. Yes, you look like death is living inside of you right now. I won't lie. It's quite disturbing.
We can agree to disagree. So
We can't face down Arias and his legion of bandits in Som's Point. I think you know that, Will. At least I pegged you to be smarter than that.
I'm thinking. Confronting him directly is a losing option, as he's just demonstrated. Even without his men here. Just one of his little pets gave us a hard time. On the other hand, doing his dirty work for him, in the end, will only strengthen to empower him.
But on the other hand, if we find these notes, we could burn them.
It's not just these children either, Fix. They were looking for children when they killed everyone I knew.
He's looking for a certain child, a child that has like, strength. He said something about me not being close enough with my demon to protect you from the mists.
Protect from the mists?
Something along those lines, yes. What? Is he looking for a child who can form a partnership with a demon willingly to help him through the mists?
I think I may have a vague sense of what he means.
What?
Getting through the mist. I might be able to help,
how's that?
but I don't know for certain if it'll work. A volunteer.
I mean, I'm almost dead. What else could?
Perfect. You've got the least to lose.
Uh-huh.
Whoa,
I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach
Too
out
late.
and tap her on the temple and use lay on hands restore sanity.
Yes. For how much?
I have only a single point available, so I will give her that and
Okay.
see what happens.
So if you are under 100 sanity, you pretty much have a headache constantly until you're back at 100. The headache won't be incredibly severe, but you will certainly notice it. I think as she touches your head, it wouldn't remove the headache entirely, but you would instantly feel a slight improvement in it. Almost as if he sort of instantly gave you a paracetamol, something like that. Advil. Not a full cure here, but it's extremely noticeable because it's so instant, I think. And you restore 1 sanity.
I'm telling you, you got it charged.
I take that to mean it worked.
I think so.
To the other two. When I realized that I could close people's wounds in the sunlight, at the same time I could feel the opposite end of the spectrum. It's not just physical wounds. I can counteract the effect of the mist on our heads, but only very slightly. We'd have to ration it very carefully. But
I think that's what Arias is looking for.
we can't tell him.
No. If we see him again, you should run as far as you can in the other direction.
Let's hope he's not still just hanging out in me. Listening in.
This just makes me want to go to Sum's Point more.
I need to go to sleep.
We
think
all
we all
need to
do.
rest. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Been on our feet a long time.
And I can't guarantee that I'll feel better in the morning. But I definitely am not of any use right now.
I can relate to that.
Perhaps we should take it in turns watching on fire, just in case.
I'll be fine.
No, I'm staying right here.
There is certainly some irony in watching the one who does not sleep.
You
I
can
don't
sit
know
at the
what
end of
Arias
my
is
bed like a
capable of.
dog, Merlin.
I will.
Maybe I'm powerful with magic now. I don't know. How could he get in and get out without imbuing me with some kind of power? I don't know.
You know, I really don't think that's how it works.
All right, here's your
Wishful
boiling
thinking.
water. The elven barmaid shows up and she moves into the room with a wooden bucket, sloshing water everywhere. As it hits the ground, it steams up a little bit, and she puts it down next to the bed. I ain't got any towels or nothing. I got an old coat. What you might be able to use.
No, that's fine. Thank you very much.
All right, it's proper hot though. So, like, be careful. If you touch it, it'll burn.
Thank you.
Fucking hell, you look
Okay,
terrible.
thanks.
You all right, love?
She
First off,
needs.
that's rude.
Yeah, no, you're
look
right.
great.
Sorry, I was worried there for a second. I thought we should. Do you want me to
Was
get the
gonna
doctor?
Point at her reflection, like while they're still talking. Point at Fire's reflection in the water so she can see herself.
You know?
She has a point.
I just pull the cover up and just...
So,
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
you guys, are you guys planning on taking an actual rest here, a mechanical rest?
Yeah.
For a
Yep.
while. I'll give you a long rest in town, free of danger. You will be able to sleep,
Thanks.
with no paranoia. In character, I'm sure you can be as extremely paranoid as you want, but we will see through the effects of a long rest through the next 8 hours. You need 8 hours of rest to get the effects of the full long rest. Let me just figure out what time it is for you. So it was actually around 1 in the afternoon when the Grell situation was resolved. So it's probably about 1:30 at the moment, taking us all the way up to sort of nighttime here. Do you want to? You don't have. It doesn't have to be 8 hours, and then you can get on with your life. You could sleep through the night. We can see where you are in the morning. Of course, it's always dark, but alternatively, you can do the 8 hours, and that's essentially where you're at for the rest.
How much longer would it be past 8 hours to wait till morning?
Well, it would be 9:30 p.m. ish when you come off, when you're fully rested mechanically.
Okay. I think maybe for the sake of recovering from injuries and getting a full reset, we'd probably want to wait till the next morning. Partially because I have a vested interest in going out when the sun is available, so I definitely want to wait till morning.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll say that you guys spend the rest of the day keeping an eye on fire. You can hear reparations begin very quickly to the open hole that was ripped in the side of the wall from downstairs. Any of you that are going up and downstairs or moving around will see that the same kind of people that had helped fix the bar up before have rushed to the side of, and her name is Yori, gonna remember it one day, to help her out. They begin patching up the hole. Not as many patrons this evening as usual, with the fears now of these creatures that are continually attacking, but also you can sense the sense of a rumor spreading around town once again. 1 minute it's a flying fish, the next minute it was an enormous thing the size of the tavern itself. 1 minute a magical jester in town saved everybody, the next minute it was a little gnome. Yeah, some old soldier had dragged the thing out and burned it outside, and that's what the horrible putrid smell through town was for several hours afterwards. A few stories coming back and forth. Merritt returns. He gives you some tea, says it's refreshing. Everyone roll me a perception or a nature check to see if you can determine what was in the tea that made it so refreshing. 12, 17, 12, and a 13. Fire, it's a meaty taste. There's a meat in this, a strange meat. Do you press him for the answer?
No.
Good.
Sorry, meat tea?
Yeah, it's an aftertaste that really only fire picks up on. But it is extremely refreshing. It actually does make you feel awake and alert and a little less exhausted, shall we say. He suggests that you rest for as long as possible, Fire, and doesn't seem to ask too many questions. Then he goes home and goes to bed. For the most part, the tavern provides you with meals, whether it be salami or whatever was on offer last time, which I believe was, you can get a mug of beer and a salami stick for 1 copper, or you could buy a meat pie, I think it was. Oh no, it was a mushroom pie, which is still around, and those are much better if anyone ate those, with some relatively fresh beetroots as well. And drinks and clean water, as I will say. And I think generally speaking, the evening goes relatively smoothly, with everybody getting their rests. And it's a good time for us to go to a break. When we return, it will be the morning, and you guys can decide on what you're going to do, whether it be rush to Som's Point and try and take out Arias at the orphanage where he claims to be, or whether it's venture off northwards back up to that road and into the mist, or whether you go left and do something that I couldn't possibly prepare for because at its core this is still D&D. Thank you so much for watching, watchers, and we'll be back after this short break. Thanks again. Spooky spook. Welcome back to part 2 of this episode of Mistlight. You guys have had a long rest through the night here in Kull, and I think Fire, you probably still feel pretty bad, but you feel way better than you did the day before in terms of hit points. You all have all of your hit points back. Your sanity does not recover. It is at whatever number it was at. You get your abilities and spell slots back as well. And you recover half of your hit dice, rounded up, back if you've used any of those on short rests. The time is around 7 a.m., I think, when the four of you meet, maybe downstairs in the lower part of the tavern, and I think the actually Will, roll me a D2.
A D2.
Yes. A 1.
A nat 1 as always.
A nat 1. It is raining today, but the town has returned to its relatively natural state. The barmaid probably brings you over some breakfasts or some mild meads or some sort of tea that is not quite as good as the tea that you were provided previously, as you sit around the table in the morning to finish up your plans and prep what you're going to be doing next. There is not very many people in here this morning, but there is a brown stain that no longer looks like blood and gore around one of the tables that nobody is sitting at. There is a boarded up section of wall where the Grell had come in, and a soggy ash pile just outside the front door. Other than that, the damage to the bar this time was not quite as bad. So the recovery seems to have been a little easier on the bar staff. And yeah, I think we finally see you gathered around. You're probably looking a little better, a little less worse for wear, maybe a little cleaner as you sit and eat breakfast. Who has a bowl of oats? Show of hands, so that the audio listeners have no idea. 3 of you have a bowl of oats. Merlin has a bowl of oats, an apple core he found, some salami, and maybe some little orange peels that he's been carrying with him since the beginning of the campaign, just for breakfast.
I think I'm finally to the point now where if Yori offers us some salami, I'm finally ready to start shooting it down. Like,
Okay.
I fought enough grills. Thank you.
Yeah.
No more salami.
Does Merlin eat any salami for breakfast?
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
taking the salami.
That's all I need to know. All right. So yeah, the 4 of you are sitting in this tavern. The rain's coming down, not too heavily, but hitting the windows. Maybe there's a couple of leaks dropping into it's half-filled buckets on the ground around you. What is the group planning to do today?
I feel like we probably have to discuss that because we haven't yet.
Yes.
I guess whenever we're done eating, we'll just look at the rest of the table and say, so?
Merlin's just gnawing down on the salami. It's a little hard today.
Thought we weren't going to eat that anymore. It's okay.
So, what is our next move?
I'd rather not. I'd rather not go into the mist anytime soon. If I can kindly make that request.
Why?
Why? I don't think I'm up for it.
You seem fine now.
I feel better, not 100%.
Are you really so eager to see what is hidden up there?
I'm conflicted. I don't
As am I.
believe that Arias will hold his word if we do get this for him. His word means nothing to me.
You know, I can't claim to know the guy particularly well, but I'm getting this general sense that he probably shouldn't be trusted.
At the same time, I think throwing ourselves face first at him will probably end in all of us being killed.
Right. Well, we've now posed 2 rather extreme polar opposites here of becoming his willing minions or attacking him head on. I'm sure there's some other options in the middle there somewhere, right? Maybe that's where we should be looking.
Yes, but I'm thinking of the most likely scenario. Where we bumble into Som's Point, make a lot of noise, as I'm sure they'll have bandit outposts watching for us. Arias has explicitly and specifically told us he's there, so that means he's most likely waiting for us anyway. Sneaking up on him doesn't seem like a likely option. I want to know what he's doing in Som's Point besides looking for this child. He said he can't travel far into the mists, so is this his end point? Where does he go from here? And another interesting thing, I'm not sure if it was a slip of the tongue, but he thinks we defeated the Grell the second time around. He seemed surprised and impressed that we had managed to defeat it, and I didn't tell him that in fact it fell inert after he left. Or I assume that's what happened.
could have been a slip of the tongue, or maybe he genuinely believes his pet kept fighting us after he left. But yeah, I was getting ready to fight it, and it just fell on its own. So maybe there's a complication to his method that even he isn't aware of. And if so, we should make sure we don't let him learn that.
Yes.
Imagine he sends an army of his pets after us and they all fall over.
If anyone asks, we defeated it.
Absolutely, yes.
I have a possibility I want to bring up. If he can just take over my body at will, I imagine he could use that ability to try to either gain information from us from the inside, or attack you, or steal things from you using me.
The problem if he steals things from us using you is we won't know whether it's him or you.
That's a good idea.
But perhaps you're right. Maybe we should have these discussions without you.
I'll know when it's fire. I know.
When he spoke through her in my absence, how obvious was it that it was not her?
Very. Not unless she was very good at impersonating him. The impression was pretty spot on.
It was his voice.
See, if I'm now concerned that if he could speak through her, he could potentially also hear through her.
Mm-hmm. And see through me.
So we should blindfold, gag, and deafen you for the rest of our journey.
I could just go home, or...
No.
I can just start walking a different direction, and... I'd rather not go home.
Probably your best option, if we're
I
being
just remembered something he said when he first awoke. It was that he had just enough energy left to do this. So I assume it was some leftover effect of the spell he laid upon her.
It could be a side effect of that stuff that was all over her, but it could also be that he was only able to do so while she was in a weakened state. Maybe if she were conscious to resist him, it would be harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one's stopping you from going home. I'm not going to lie and claim that this has a really high chance of survival for any of us.
I'm stopping.
I won't feel bad or be upset if that's a decision you make. Or if
It's not a decision for us to make.
Well, I'm saying if let's say he takes over my body and starts attacking you, obviously kill me. Don't hesitate, just because it's me.
Oh no, I can just break your kneecaps instead. What are friends for?
Whoa,
Perfect.
okay. This is not even an option. You're not going anywhere. Fire. It's just... No, it's out of the question.
Arias managed to
I haven't
track
been paid
us
yet, Merlin.
easily enough.
We're in this together. This is
Actually-
exactly what he wants.
If there is some residual trace of his, I don't know, spying or taking over you, I might be able to see it. I just, Will is looking at Fix. Like,
I can go.
can you just, you don't have to leave, just, like, physically
I
slide my
stand
chair
up.
away from her for a second.
I stand up and
And
take a few steps back behind
I
her.
will use divine sense to study fire and see if I can perceive anything out of the ordinary, like, an Arias that shouldn't be there.
Yes.
I'm gonna lean in super close to him, and when
Okay.
he least expects it, I'm gonna go, boo!
All right. So you will be able to sense evil, and specifically know the location of any celestials, fiends, or undead within 60 feet. That is not behind total cover. Ignoring the I guess double ping off of Fix, now that she has a familiar that is also part fiend, you get the sense that there is
Would also want to observe that I've already looked at fire like this back in the cave. So if there's anything different from then till now, I'm also looking for that. Like,
there isn't.
a difference.
There
Okay.
isn't. She seems to be exactly the same. I don't know if fire registers as evil or good or anything like that. I don't think it's quite as clear cut as something like an alignment in your traditional D&D 5e setting might be. But it most certainly doesn't. I wouldn't say the presence of strong evil doesn't register on your senses. You don't get the sense that any of this necromantic energy remains. You get the same sensation as you got in the cave. There's also, just for the record, no other things within 60 feet of you
Okay.
to scare you.
Hold on. She leaned towards me and yelled boo. Let me see if she caught me off guard. No. I don't flinch.
No.
Another, another natural one there.
Nice try.
That's so
Well,
perfect.
I was gonna say one is I'm maintaining my gaze, and two is I flinch.
Yeah.
But no,
So
Will
I
doesn't
just
react.
go, boo.
I'm only sensing selfish, ruthless narcissism. So I think she's fine.
You should turn that magic around on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What do you get in there?
Can I sit down again?
You almost had him.
Thanks. Does the name Eldrin Greymane mean anything to anybody? Does it mean anything to me? I assume it doesn't, but...
You may all roll history checks. We shall determine if anybody knows Eldrin Greymane.
Apparently I do.
I rolled a 4, so I'm moving up in the world.
There's a 4 there from you, a 1 from Fire, a 10 from Fix, and a 26 from Merlin Puck.
Merlin literally wrote this guy's biography.
Okay. Merlin, roll me a D... 6.
4.
4. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eldrin Greymane was written several times in the notes that you found in the in Arias's things. Two things come up now with this new piece of information that you can link some of those scraps together with. The first being that Eldrin Greymane comes up several times alongside the phrase Child of Darkness. And that Arias has a theory based on his own exceptional necromantic wizarding skills, that whatever is going on with Eldrin, the Child of Darkness, and the crypt that seems to have been constructed for this person, contains an answer to something, to a question that you wouldn't know. A question that Arias has. Eldrin also comes up with many mentions of werewolves.
Okay, that's a lot to take in.
Yes.
So, I guess I then relayed to everyone. So, according to what I've gathered, this Eldrin Greymane, well, there's a connection with him and Osiris.
His
I
name is
guess-
Arias, Merlin.
Arias, right? Sorry, I don't. I've heard his name in passing.
Fix, Will and I had a bet about how long that would go on, and now it's...
Oh, really? Have
Sorry
I
for
been
spoiling your fun.
Have I been saying his name wrong the entire time?
Nope, nope,
No.
nope.
And you only bothered to correct me now.
I'll just slowly slip a copper to Will. Nope.
Well, anyway, what do I even bother then? Do I even bother relaying this? No, I won't. I won't keep it to myself. So I'll relay everything. That Arias has a theory in regards to his necromantic skills. Something about this crypt for Eldarin containing an answer, and Eldarin has something to do with werewolves. He could be a werewolf. I don't really know.
No.
Werewolves? Like...
A woo. Yes, the ones that howl to the full moon. A woo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Ow.
It might be that Fire's narcissism is rubbing off on me. But I just had a horrible
Possibly.
thought.
Hmm? Continue.
Arias knows the one thing that will manipulate me into doing something is knowing that another child might be in danger. What if he wants us, me specifically, to go to this crypt? Because he knows that something will happen. Or he theorizes and suspects that something will happen.
Could be.
I wouldn't necessarily call it narcissism. He knows you better than he knows any of us. You've known him the longest. It also stands to reason that he probably knows how to get under your skin more than the rest of us.
Well,
Hence, he would threaten the children at Som's Point. He knows that's how to get you to react.
And if I am honest, the last thing I want to do is go back in the mist as well.
My concern... He's somehow aware of our movements. He's been
Yes.
observing us. He knew we were back here. He
Yes.
knew to send that thing after us. He was able to appear here physically, and yet he claims that he's in Som's Point. So either he's in two places at once, or he has a magic that allows him to transpose himself from one location to another.
oh, he has magic that allows him to transpose himself from one plane to another.
Merlin, can you do that?
Me, no.
Merlin,
Okay.
at the end of the conversation with Arias, did he say he will be watching?
I can't exactly recall that.
Wait, are there... I saw... He had like a portal that he went through, and I saw into it before he stepped in. And there were
Does that
docks.
sound like...
Like boat docks.
Does that sound like any spell you know, Merlin?
Roll me an Arcana check.
11.
An 11. Let's see. Roll me an investigation check.
Would I be able to roll for this if I have proficiency in Arcana?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Brad, if it's the spell that I think it is, I actually learn it too later. Can I roll?
You? You don't learn this.
I
What
got
do you
nothing.
think it is? Yeah, no.
I
this-
think he's casting Dimension Door, which is on my spell list later.
Oh, it is? Paladins get Dimension Door? Bullshit.
Oath of Vengeance gets it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Fix and Merlin, you come to the same conclusion. The investigation check was just to determine how far away Som's Point is. Dimension Door is a general teleportation spell. It allows you to move yourself from one point to another almost instantly. In Arias's case, he almost quite literally creates a doorway that he walks through. You can, when you see him cast it, you can see him. You can see where he's going, and he steps into it, and it closes behind him. The thing with Dimension Door that I don't think makes a lot of sense to you right now is that to be able to move as far away as Som's Point is beyond what this spell is usually able to do. It usually only allows you to move roughly around 500 feet away, and Som's Point is miles away. So he is able to cast this in at a more powerful level, not in the sense of a spell slot level, but it's essentially the same spell, but it would be like an empowered Dimension Door somehow. It generally goes beyond the abilities that you understand, but he's also doing some weird stuff that you don't understand either, like being able to talk through people. Is not really like him being able to use the remaining arcane energy that is left in Fire while she recovers, using that Blighted spell. Even though that arcane energy was drawn from him, he shouldn't really be able to use it to puppeteer her and speak through her and see through her and stuff like that. So he seems to have access to the same spells that you might understand, but some of them seem to have extra attributes or empowerments to them. So you definitely recognize this to be Dimension Door. It's certainly the same spell, but he's casting it with a level of power that's beyond anything that you've ever seen any wizard or heard of, even any wizard beyond like a child's tale being able to cast. So yes, you both, Fix and Merlin, would recognize this as the Dimension Door spell, a spell that allows you to teleport yourself, basically, or open a doorway between one place and another around 500 feet maximum away from you.
If we see him again, could you do your seeing evil thing at him, Will?
I could try, for sure. I have to be somewhat close to him to do this.
Just a theory.
Yes. Yeah.
Just a theory that he's sipping from the same cup that he's trying to make others drink from.
You want to know if he looks the way you do?
Yes.
Next time we see him, I'll make a point of it, and hopefully we'll live long enough for me to tell you the answer.
I'll try and make
Merlin.
that happen.
Merlin,
Yes.
come here.
And he comes closer.
Come over here. Come over here.
I
I want to whisper quietly enough to Merlin that no one else in this room has a chance of hearing it. And I'm gonna whisper to him.
He's watching us or listening to us somehow. Can you use your magic to check for things that might be eavesdropping on us? It might be Fire for all I know, so I don't want to say it in front of her.
Okay.
Even while we're traveling, I want you to stop and check. Every 10 minutes or so, until we figure out how he's watching us.
Okay.
And then I'll sit back up. But no salami this time.
Yeah. I think I'm through with the salami.
Did you finally do it, Will? I've been waiting.
I wish I could follow your train of thought right now, but I can't.
I thought there was something that happened that you were going to scold Merlin for during the battle.
Whoa.
Some miscommunication of a...
No.
Well, first of all, I don't even know where to start, because that was a shoddy, disorganized mess, but if I'm going to be scolding anyone, I would probably start with the elf who ran off alone to confront someone who's far more powerful than she is.
That doesn't sound familiar to me. What did they look like?
I figured a scolding from me is unnecessary. You received it personally from Arias.
Okay. You can do it if you need, if you feel the need to do it.
I don't feel like it would help.
Okay.
We just need to,
It wouldn't.
at any point, if we are confronted with danger again, try to stay close enough to be of assistance to each other, and focus our efforts on bringing down one threat at a time, especially if it's a big thing. Whatever I'm fighting, Fire, you are fighting, you understand?
Okay.
I put a sword in its face, you put an arrow in its back, and we rinse and repeat until it's dead. I'd give instructions for these two, but frankly, your talents are a little more complex than I fully understand.
Yes, my talents include being grabbed by tentacles and rendered unconscious in the space of 2 minutes.
You
Yeah,
also
that was
got up
quite
and walked
odd, actually. As soon as I was freed by Will, I almost felt like I was being paralyzed again.
Probably the girl's doing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think the Grail is a liar too.
Well, you did get up and walk away afterwards. That's worth something. Oh. Fog. I don't know if that was you or the other guy, Merlin, but never do that again.
No, that was no. You know when it's me, okay? I usually
Yeah, I mean, it has a certain smell to it when it's Merlin.
That's true. It didn't smell quite so foul.
That's a good point.
What? Well, excuse me. Sorry
yeah,
you don't
really.
like my brand.
Oh, is that what we're calling it now?
As we're talking, I'm going to be writing in my notebook, and I'm going to turn around and show everybody that I've written. We go to Somers Point directly, no stops. And I just...
Into the mist, then.
It's the only way to be sure.
I'm still not entirely sure I like this idea.
He did say something rather striking, though. From what I recall, he was very taken aback that we can travel through the mist. That's something we have an advantage over Orias. I said his name right this time, right?
Yes, well done.
Now it's Osiris. Actually.
Fire.
I can't have any fun. That wasn't me. That was Orias. He took over.
So we follow the path north, up the paved road, to the graveyard, and find this Eldarin.
What
No time
choice
to
do we
waste
have?
them. I'll stand up and head out the tavern.
Oh, I suppose we should split these up. One for you, one for you, one for you. And this one for me. The 4 healing potions that are left. We bought 6. I used one on fire and I used one on fix and one on fire. So we have 4 left, so 1 per person split up now.
Did Merlin use one?
I did, actually.
Oh, well in that case, 1 for you and 1 for you. None for you, Merlin. And one for me.
I can't. Fine, I'll just brew my own. It's okay.
We can share.
So
Also, hang on.
Yeah.
Do you think perhaps we should take a drop of the Thieves Potion each before we go? Just in case.
Oh, speaking of potions, did that guy ever bring the list of ingredients?
Yes.
Yeah, I got them. They're with me.
Perfect. Does it look like something you're actually going to be able to make?
Yeah.
Good. Start making some more then.
You could sell them at your shop.
I'm not opening a shop. Well, actually, when this is all said and done, I probably should do something along those lines. Maybe not necessarily charging money, but...
You can come with me.
Oh,
We have a lovely home south of Ifrit. We try and help people.
why wouldn't you charge? I mean, it's your time. At least charge for your time.
All my time is borrowed anyway.
I will
Let's
pull
go.
my 15% from somewhere.
I will stand up to exit and invite the others to come with.
Yes. And are you doing any thing else in town, or are you heading out?
We did have that one really old person to go check with, but I can't remember now because it's been a couple weeks since our last session. There was like a older, like, village elder or a chief or something.
Wasn't that the farmer guy you had already spoken to?
Oh, you
thought
wanted
that
to
was
speak to
another one.
someone
We had-
old in town about the
Yeah, I thought there was
about the road,
I thought you
think.
mentioned there was one other lead to follow, but I can't remember the name because it's been too long now.
Yeah, I think. Let me see what I wrote down for you here. You wanted to go and speak to.
Yeah, I might have wrote it in my own notes. Let me check.
One of the oldest people in town.
Absolutely
which
not.
is
I have
the
very detailed notes for like the first 5 sessions, and then it just becomes a disorganized mess beyond that.
I think your plan was to go and speak to one of the oldest people in town, but you had already spoken to this person on the way into town. Was essentially the thing anyway. So
Okay, yeah. If there's no other lead to follow up there, then forget about it.
Okay, so you guys
Did we get rations?
Oh, we're gonna eat all the food.
I think. Oh yeah, we did. Ignore me.
I'll say you did.
We did. I've got it. in
Pretty
my
sure we
notes.
did. And
I'm pretty
whether
sure
we
you
did,
you restocked all your general equipment because I remember fire.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if we got interrupted in the tavern.
Fire bolts, and arrows, right?
Unless Merlin made a secret roll at some point somewhere to take even more of my rations, I still am like,
Can I make that roll?
Existing off of.
Can I make it?
You can make a.
I have, for the
sleight of
record,
hand check versus
because
Will's
of
passive
Merlin.
perception. Yes, always.
Because of Merlin, I have my ration bag like tied into a knot.
Yeah, but he knows that, and that's how he got in there and took half of them.
A 22. Okay. Never mind. There goes all my food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you would
comes to
not.
food.
You would not 20 the food stealing. All right. Pardon me while I cut my amount of food in half again.
Yeah, and yeah, you can add whatever that half is to your rations, Merlin. You head out of town. So we'll say it's probably let me see here. We'll say it's probably about 8 a.m. when you leave, Kull.
So, first of all, we will definitely take Fix's suggestion to like take a drop of that can't follow us potion.
Okay, yes.
Thieves Potion.
Just one drop each, or would you like to try more?
I'm trying to recall the guy's instructions, but I'm pretty sure he said just a tiny trace amount was enough, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. Just a trace amount, and if we chug too much, we get amnesia, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I'll just take like 2 drops, and that's it.
Drinking a small sip of this makes you untrackable for a week. However, drinking too much of it will make you lose your memory of the last 1d7 days. Whenever the potion is handed to someone new, they forget they had it unless they pass a DC 20 perception check. That's how that works. I will give you that in your group there. That's the actual mechanics you've been working with since the cave.
So I don't know.
Nothing quite so crazy, by the way. Everybody that was going insane in theory crafting, that it was made out of the mist itself and stuff like that.
Condensed mist?
Yeah.
Oh, I can say what my theory was now for the
Everyone
Thieves
had some
Potion.
good theories, and they were better than what it was. It was just a random potion that you found.
My theory was that it was like a sanity restoring potion.
Yes.
Which was pretty close, because I thought it would make... It does give you amnesia, but my thinking was it makes you forget the horrors of the mist and refill sanity points. That was...
And you
my
almost
assumption.
drank it. Do you remember that episode where you were like, I think I might drink the whole thing? And I was sat here like clenched, like, oh god. That's gonna wipe his character clean.
You want to know why I didn't drink it?
As a rogue. Yeah, why?
You want to know why I didn't drink it, Brad?
Go on then.
because I hadn't lost any sanity points. I hadn't lost enough sanity points.
That would
Oh
have
my
been...
God.
If it restores sanity, I shouldn't drink it now. I should save
Yeah.
it for later. So I
Oh,
did.
that could have been bad.
Yeah, that would have potentially been very interesting to see how that worked out.
Oof.
So, yes, I think you say your goodbyes to Yori, the bartender, and do you tell Yori where you're going or anything like that? I presume not, because you're doing everything
No.
all covertly. And you slip out of town via the south road, not the broken north road. And
We actually, Will
No, we'll
would
go up north.
100% start the route so that anyone in town who observes us
Yes.
sees us going north.
okay, so you go out north and then cut around town outside of
Correct.
the walls and then head back south again. Yeah, that's completely doable.
Yeah, 100%. We go out into like that farmer's, what was it? His mint field or whatever,
Yep.
or his rhubarb field.
Rhubarb and
then-
yeah,
and then-
carrot.
Take a turn and hang back to head east.
Okay. Okay. Yes, and then you begin your half a day's travel. Again, on this map, each hex represents a half day. For some reason. Oh yeah, because this is weird. This is a half day travel that you need to do to get to each hex along from where you are. You can each do. You actually start in this hex. You'll be pleased to know, and it is 8 a.m. when you leave through the gates of Kull. And again, I shall need a set of travel tasks from each of you. A navigator is not necessary unless you're planning to go off the path, which might be something that you're actually doing today. You want to follow the road itself. You cannot become lost, so you won't need anybody navigating or, quote, drawing a map. You can have somebody track, which is if you're looking or hunting for someone or a beast or something. You can have somebody forage, which can be somebody looking for food or somebody looking for ingredients to potions. And you can have somebody scout to make sure that you know when and or if there are approaching creatures, monsters, enemies, and I guess in this case just anybody, because you're moving stealthily. You want to get from here to Som's Point without anyone knowing. Is that the general plan? You don't want to encounter anyone. Are you hiding from everyone, even merchants on the road?
I would, unless there's like a really obvious reason to approach them, I would say probably not.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'll just wrap that all underneath scouting. Random events can happen on the road, including just like bumbling into a merchant and things like that. But I will account for the fact that you don't want to do that ideally, without really failing these tasks. So who wants to do what here? One of you picks one of each. You can double up on them, and also don't roll until you've all decided, please.
I'd like to scout ahead if I
Given-
can.
One scout.
Given that we've been traveling together for a while and we should hopefully have a better idea of who's got the best skills, can we stop and ask who's the best at what? Because
Aren't you all terribly bad at perception? I
I
believe.
don't know what you mean.
I believe all of you are terrible at perception.
My-
What are
my
your
everything is
perception
2.
modifiers?
I have a 2 on both survival and perception, so it doesn't matter which.
Okay.
I have a +3 to survival. I'm proficient, so I
Okay.
will navigate.
And are you sticking to the road?
No.
You guys
I think
are gonna
we'd be...
try and stay off the
Yeah.
road. Yep. Okay.
Is it possible to stay close enough to the road to stay on track, but not stand directly on it, like move through the brush or whatever beside it? So if anyone's passing, we just stop moving in the bushes?
Guess
that
that falls to your
doable,
navigator,
or-
not rolling too low, doesn't it?
That's what I'd be attempting to do, is keep an eye on the road, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah, I think if you want to do that, you're going to need to roll a navigation.
Yep.
So that falls under navigation. So then we have a forager. And Merlin, are you foraging for food or for potion ingredients?
I think I might for potion ingredients this time around.
Okay. And that leaves Fire and Will.
Fire said she was scouting ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's separate from navigation?
Don't roll yet.
Yep.
Oh,
Okay. Well, we also have Vita to help with scouting, right? For another perception roll?
Yeah, is Vita able to do that separately from me?
You know what? I don't see why not.
Right. All right. Yeah, Vita will be scouting as well.
Okay.
I thought that was the whole point.
Well, yeah, I know. I just forgot. I keep forgetting. I've got a familiar. Ah!
Yeah, it's hard to
Okay,
remember.
then. Okay, so if we have Fire and Vita on lookout, then I will assist with navigation and hope we don't get lost.
Okay.
Which is, what, survival?
Yes. And then roll me, let me double check on what Vita has. Because sometimes they have skills, but I think Vita only has, it doesn't have any skills. So that would just be a wisdom check.
Yep.
From Vita,
Nice.
and then a perception from you. You're scouting as well, yeah?
I am tracking and navigating. So survival.
Oh yeah, you're navigating survival, and okay, so what do we have here? Fire with a 4, Merlin with a 7 to foraging, and Fix
We're
with a
doomed.
10 to navigating, Will with a 9 to navigating, and Vita with a 9 to scouting. I'm gonna roll 1 dice.
Oh God.
And then I'm going to ask, I guess, Fire to roll me a d6.
2.
2. Oh, wow. Oh, I also need to roll a d6.
Oh no.
What's going
Oh,
on?
wow.
Oh no, what's happening?
Oh no.
Oh, wow. All right,
Oh,
guess what, you
no.
guys? You are on a true random encounter table now.
Oh no.
Let's have Fix
It's another
roll
crown.
me a. Let's have Fix roll me a 2d6, please. That is a 5. And then we will have. This is Will. Please roll me a. I believe it is a d12, but let me double check with my own table.
I'm gonna laugh if I've been rolling 1s and 2s all day, but then when it's like, how many giants do you have to fight? Boom! Max roll.
Well, if you roll a 1, it might be a giant. So roll a d8. Not d12, sorry.
1d8.
That's a 1. I'm just gonna start this up now while we wait, because this is gonna be interesting. Alrighty, so here we go. This is
Odds. The
now
odds. What the
Merlin.
fuck?
You get to determine whether it's a giant or not by rolling a d12.
Merlin, please. You're our only hope.
Please.
We're dead.
2?
Pretend you're stealing food, Merlin. It'll be a nat 20.
You're rolling for its height. It's 2 foot. You're fine.
I don't like that noise. I don't like that noise.
No.
Let's see here. So where is my map? Over here. Okay.
We're all laughing
So-
because we know we're gonna die.
It is still.
Yeah, yeah.
It is still. Dark. Yes. Let me double check on the time. So it would be 8. Which brings us to. Oh, you know what? The first thing that happens, I think here's how it goes. And let me just double check on the CR of this. Here's how it goes.
Things you don't want to hear in your campaign. Let me double check the CR
of
is
this.
definitely
Please.
one of those
Please
things
no.
you don't want to hear.
No, you really don't want to hear. Wow. Don't know how this ended up on my random encounter table.
Is it a frost iguana or
Dude,
frost
like, no one is gonna fucking believe me, basically, when you realize what's happening. And I promise it is okay. So here's what happens. You are all walking along. You're keeping track, Fix, of the road very easily. While you're having Vita and Fire scout ahead. While it's dark, you only really have to worry about your immediate area. You guys can see in the dark, but only up to a certain amount. There is some stars, some moonlight, just to give you a little bit of an idea of the lay of the land ahead. Then the sun comes up at around 10, 11. And as the sun comes up, you hear a terrible noise from behind you, a thing that sounds like this. You turn around, and moving across the open field, now with the daylight illuminating not just how far away you are from the road and the mountains that you ventured into before, but you can also see the expanse of the sea across the open plains south of Kull, and heading towards you from those hills is
a Tarrasque,
a giant. Everyone roll me a nature check because it's a type of giant.
Merlin with another 20.
6, and then Fire. Nature check.
Oh, did it not roll?
I don't see it.
Oh, there you go.
A 17. Okay, Merlin and Fire. Maybe the woods around the Irish tree are a little more prone to cyclopses. This giant is moving towards you, but it's not one that you, Fix, or you will recognize. Giants are actually relatively common, but they're generally just kind of dumb hill giants. Pretty common and easy to avoid for the most part. However, during daytime, they're a little more difficult to avoid. The one that is Merlin and Fire very difficult to avoid in daytime is the Cyclops. During daytime, a Cyclops can see you from almost anywhere in the world, it feels like. That one eye, if it's focused on the area where you are, is always able to see you. Therefore, as soon as the sun came up and it began to move across this these plains, these hills, this thing very quickly saw you. It starts moving towards where you are. Let me see 1 second. How tall a Cyclops is, because I'm curious. It doesn't tell me. Ranging from 12 to 16 feet. Let's say this one's 16 feet because it's so hysterical to me that you actually managed to roll what is almost an actual giant, but it is a giant, a Cyclops, on a random encounter table. When you were joking about it, we were all joking about it, and I swear to God this happens way too much. I'm going to bring you...
What did you say the CR was on this thing again?
Too high. It's going to be bad. It's bad. It's not an easy kill.
Good.
It's going to be in Skyrim when the giant hits you and you just go flying.
So, here is what I will say is happening. The thing that is lucky for you as it stands right now is that the Cyclops is coming at you from... you are on top of a relatively large hill. The Cyclops has to climb up or at least move around this thing to get to you. I'm going to bring you over to the battle map here as you see this thing. Let me just bring you over.
This sounds very bad.
It's pretty bad, but I don't know. You guys are strong. What do we got here?
Yeah,
Okay.
Arias.
So, the Cyclops, you guys shouldn't have, there should be no, it's daylight right now. Let me just turn off the dynamic lighting. And you should now be able to see that down here is the Cyclops. Now, I am going to introduce to you 2 new rules after I roll his initiative. Oh no, I can roll it here. 2 new rules. Oh, his initiative is 2, which is very good. The first rule is this. It's what I call the Final Fantasy press all the top buttons on the controller rule of escaping combat. Now, the maps, in general, I have very similar sized maps that I use. They're usually the same size, which is, if I zoom out enough, even for chat to be able to see, can't do it from that side to that side, 245, 300 feet by about 300 feet squared. Generally speaking, they're about the same size. Let me see, it's about 50 pixels by 50 pixels. If you and your characters exit the map, right, by any means, if you go to the square which is outside of this map, you have exited combat. You remove yourself from the turn order. Only that one player character can remove themselves from the map, and they leave combat. That is them out of it. For whatever reason, you can't turn back in, you can't come back or whatever. You now are in like roleplay mode, and everyone finishes up their turn order, and we finish out the combat. In terms of what it would be in roleplay, is your character runs off and goes, puts their hands on their knees and breathes, and then turns around. And then obviously in combat, each turn is only 6 seconds. So it's only a few seconds before your character maybe turns around and sees what happened during the next 3 hours of play that was actually only 3 turns, or, you know, like 18 seconds or whatever it is. So that's the first rule. If you leave this combat map, that's you ejecting yourself from combat. It does mean you're safe from harm, and you will have escaped whatever's coming after you, and everything is open to wobbliness, but generally speaking, that's how it works. But it also means that you're leaving whoever is left on the combat map still in the combat, and we play that out, and then we retroactively justify why you didn't run back and save them in the combat. That's the first rule of how combat maps work, because I hate it, and it's a thing in D&D that I've always hated, and that's how it works now. The second rule is for spellcasters. If you run out of spell slots and would like to take a point of exhaustion, you can regain a spell slot, a first level spell slot. If you take 2 points of exhaustion, you can get a second level spell slot back, or 2 first level spell slots. If you take 6, you die. So this is a thing where you can push yourself past your natural limits and draw upon your own, damaging your own body, damaging yourself in some way to pull a spell slot back. This is extremely powerful for the Warlock, who doesn't get many spell slots, and Fairlight Excalibur, who, I swear to God, I put this to my chat. I said, before I give this to Fairlight, can anyone break the game with this? And they couldn't do it, but I know Fairlight will. And I'm just saying, that's it. And that's a rule. So from now on, you can push yourself beyond your natural means by taking a point of exhaustion. Now, those of you that don't know what exhaustion is, I think I have a thing that I can hand out to you, but I won't do it right now. I'll just tell you what they are. You take 1 level of exhaustion, you get disadvantage on ability checks. 2, your speed becomes half. 3, disadvantage on attack rolls, saving throws, and the speed half, and the ability checks, by the way. 4, your hit point max is halved. 5, your speed is reduced to 0, and 6 is death. You can recover exhaustion a few different ways, but generally rests are the way to do it. So That's how it is. This is a homebrew campaign in a homebrew setting. There's a lot of wibbly wobbly stuff going on already, as you've seen with Arias. I generally won't be breaking it too hard, but that's 2 rules now that I'm throwing in at the players and the people watching, and all the rules lawyers sitting there shaking their fists at me. And Fairlight, who is rubbing his hands together, about to take 6 levels of exhaustion immediately.
I'm just figuring out how many extra smites can I throw down on a target before I keel over dead.
Yes. And that is perfectly well within your rights
and the disadvantage rolls be
Yeah.
offset immediately by Vow of Enmity. So I will keep attacking normally.
He's already doing it. And
So I
knew
could
this was
smite
gonna
7 times without disadvantage.
Oh God.
Yeah. And that's all good.
Could you
Here
just
we go.
imagine the smite,
exhausting
smite,
yourselves.
just
It's,
smiting it into the dirt?
and if you ever needed it, it's now. Please click on your tokens and roll initiative.
God.
There is a Cyclops, and while you're doing that, I will set the scene again. The sunlight is allowing you to see this Cyclops. It's like that very early sunrise, murky sunrise, as you see this enormous 16-foot, one-eyed, relatively mutated-looking person running towards you. While they do appear humanoid with what looks like a few tarps pulled around their waist to cover whatever dangly bits might be there, this enormous creature, very muscular, is running at you. In one hand they have a great club, and in the other you see them lifting and scooping a giant boulder from the ground, about to hurl it over towards where you guys are. The face of this Cyclops is all kinds of strange and wrong. The nose and the mouth are skewed all the way down to one side, but the eye sits up on the top of their forehead, a little too high. You can see that one of their hands has 7 fingers while the other has 3. And they have three nipples as they run towards you. I will say this though, it looks like for all of you that this is a thing that you did not want to attract and to have running towards you. Who rolled high again on your nature checks? It was Merlin and Fire. Merlin, you know that they're extremely dumb, like really dumb. Maybe in the past you have used that to your advantage with these creatures. They are, but they will eat you. The fact of the matter is this, Merlin: if you've encountered a Cyclops, it was trying to eat you 100%. And Fire, I would imagine what you've learned of them might be from afar. On a 17, you know what it is, basically. So,
Can we see how fast it's moving? Can we get like a judgment from his run? Like,
you can roll me an investigation check with advantage because everyone will be determining the same thing.
15.
15. It looks like it's about as fast as you. But it also looks like it's about to hurl a rock at you, which will absolutely kill you and crush you to death. Because it's hurling like a boulder at you. However, your one advantage here is that this thing is down maybe like 30 feet. It needs to climb this 30 feet hill or move around it, which is probably about the same. Yes. So at the moment, as you guys react, and you can discuss amongst yourselves what you want to do first, but as you react and see it for the first time, you have a moment before this thing comes at you. In terms of turn order, it's Merlin, but first, what do you guys do? This thing is
Okay. Well, as much as I think we do need to practice fighting big monsters, probably not that one.
No,
Run?
no, this thing is, yeah,
We
we
running?
should run. This thing
run.
is gonna try and eat us.
Hold on.
Ru-
I'm pointing at Merlin and Fix at the same time. Diversions. One of you do sight, and one of you do sound. Yes.
Yes, I've got
On the
sight.
same
Yeah,
on the
I
same
can
spot
do-
over there. And I'm pointing right
Okay.
there.
Okay, you are pointing down.
I pointed
Yeah.
here.
Yes. You're going to try and put a diversion here. Let's just put a token, but nothing's coming up. What do you want to make an illusion of, or what is the plan here?
I will recreate one of the cave spiders I saw. I try and think of the scariest thing I can think of that's the right size. And the first thing I think of is a cave spider. So I create the biggest cave spider I can, running in that direction.
All right, now I have to search up a spider. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks for the giant.
I was
It's
thinking
the
you
least
just
you
make
could
one
do.
of us.
You pick the giant.
You know?
It's ridiculous.
Thing walks around the corner and is like, "Oh, snark!" and tries to eat the fake fire.
How far away
We're
is that?
small. The spider's big. It might be like,
Can you cast that?
that's a
60
bit
feet?
of a nicer respect.
What is the spell you're doing right now?
Misty, silent image, which is 60 feet.
Okay, nice. So, silent image, create an object that is no larger than a 15-foot cube. The image appears at the spot within range and lasts for duration. The image is purely visual. Okay, yes. So you, well, I guess you're readying that for your turn, but you'll all get your turn beforehand. So, what is Merlin doing?
I guess he's gonna cast Minor Illusion for the sounds
Of the spider.
of the spider.
Yes.
That's right.
I just say make it raw. Make it raw or something.
How good is your sound?
Not so good. Oh boy. Why aren't you casting Minor Illusion? Oh god.
I'm not a wizard.
I guess that means Merlin does that on his turn. Will, what are you doing on your turn?
I can't really contribute to this, so I'm gonna start moving away.
Merlin and Fix, you can run your whatever your 30 feet is as well. Do you want me to hold this here? Hold on, that didn't work.
Yeah, I'm only gonna move 30 feet, and then is that thing tall enough to see up over this ledge?
No.
Okay, well if it doesn't have line of sight of me, then I'm gonna take the hide action on my turn.
Okay, what are you hiding behind though? It's pretty rough up there. It's kind of a
I'm just
plain open.
crouching low enough to the ground that it can't see, or I guess in this case it's more of an audio thing. I'm trying to move quietly, less so, because it already can't see me, so me ducking is pointless.
All right, give me a stealth check. Merlin, would you like to move 30 feet in this direction in general?
Oh yeah, I'll do that. Well,
Okay. What is fire doing?
Running.
All right, I need you to give
Do
me
it.
a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, great. I'm doing that quiet run where you're on like your tiptoes.
We'll see what you're doing.
What?
12, just enough. The sound of the spider and the appearance of a giant spider is
Thank
going to
you.
be immediately upsetting to you for obvious
Thank
reasons,
you.
I'm going to imagine. And you snap out of it. All right, you can do whatever you want to do.
I was worried that was going to be a thing, and I'm glad it is a thing, and also sad it's a thing. So I'm gonna run.
You were the one who wanted to go through the spider cave.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you know, things have happened.
And your action is to, or your bonus action, you're
Oh,
a
I
rogue,
can
you've got all
dash,
sorts of stuff.
I'm just going to
I'm gonna help you out.
again.
Move again.
Here.
You doing another one? Rogue?
Yeah, I don't know if I should do that or yeah, I'll do it. I'll move more.
All right.
So there. I don't know. Is this like a bush or a tree that I'm under?
We'll say you're under a tree.
Okay.
And that brings us to the Cyclops' turn. I'm going to roll an intelligence check. 6.
I'm sure he's amazing at intelligence. It should be good.
Actually has disadvantage, I guess. And he can move to about there. So he can get up to the spider. I think that the Cyclops, you hear from lower down, from underneath the hill that you're on, the dum 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 as he starts moving across. You hear the creature speak in Giantish. Does anyone speak Giantish
I do not. I already checked.
by any
No.
chance? No?
No.
Then you hear this strange language, like a guttural growling thing. This thing's mouth is also odd and mutated. It seems like maybe there is about 6 tongues in this enormous mouth, as it says. Reaches down to grab at the spider, and just his hands pass through it. But he keeps lifting it up as if he's caught it and goes, trying to eat the thing. And he's gonna bite his own hand. Roll me, let's see, who cast the spell? Merlin? Let's say Merlin. Roll me a d10. That's how much damage he's gonna do to himself. 7 damage as he looks down and is confused by this spider. Continues to swipe at it and can't figure out why he's not able to eat it. I'm gonna roll another int check at the end of his turn here. 3. Brings us to you, Merlin. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna continue running, I guess.
All right, you can do 60 feet if you use your action to run as well, so you can get to here.
Ooh. Okay.
Right, I'll do it on this screen so everyone in chat can see too.
All right, I'm gonna do just that. So I'm right next to fire.
And then Will, I'm gonna guess, is doing the same thing.
Yep, I'll just say, looks like it's working. Let's get out of here. And 60 feet north.
Yep. And then Fix.
Yep. Same.
You guys run. I'm going to say that you guys make it out of this place. You start moving and running away, heading kind of north, which is back towards where the road is. If you've been moving along south of the road here to keep yourselves away from everyone. But the sunlight coming up, I'm going to say everyone make me a dexterity saving throw. If you roll a 1, it's bad.
Brad, do you know what my favorite number is on the D20? Okay.
13, a 9 from Fix, a 19 from Fire, 11 from Merlin as a boulder flies over your head. It launches far into the distance above where you've gone. For a moment, you're just oddly watching this thing sail through the air, the size of what would look like a van to us, before it crashes in the distance, breaking apart. The Cyclops in the distance turns away from where it last saw you and suddenly starts running after something else it sees, like a dog. And that is where we're going to end our session for the day. I'm glad we got a little tiny combat thing in, and it was also a very useful time because I figured you'd probably want to run from that one. That is probably a really good time to teach you how to run out of combat, because the map is now littered with random encounters that you may or may not be able to deal with.
Oh god.
And that is why the running mechanic and learning that running mechanic today was very useful for you.
I'm just extremely excited about this idea of smiting 7 times in one combat.
You're welcome. I knew that you would break it. And you can thank Sorenlin if Sorenlin happens to be in the chat ever, because I said, Sorenlin, you're probably the best person to help me figure out if Fairlight can break this. And he said nothing at all. And I went, well, if he can't figure out how to break it, no one can, because that's what Sorenlin does for me.
Well.
So Sorenlin broke the game. It's also all good because I knew that you would do that. This whole campaign was built with Fairlight being in it in mind. And it's perfectly okay. I'm expecting Fairlight to steamroll through this thing.
Right. With the stuff you're throwing at us, I'm gonna let me just steamroll a Cyclops real quick, Fred. That's totally gonna happen.
Here's your handicap. Those 3. And it's
ouch! Wow, the savagery.
Those 3 are your handicap. No, I'm kidding.
I thought you were going to say the handicap is that I never have any food or any rest.
No. It's the other players, always. No, the handicap is more, I feel like you have to try and keep everyone alive. You know what I mean? You might be Fairlight Excalibur, but the whole team is the team, not just Will and the puppeteer of Fairlight. So can you all survive? Is really
You're just giving me horrible ideas now. Like, you know, in that encounter right there, I don't have to outrun the Cyclops.
No,
I just had to outrun Fix, right? She had the lowest initiative.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. It's just whether you're willing to do that. Yes, that brings us back to the main party after our barbarian adventure last week, and the journey continues as you move one hex away from Kull and move you down on this list on this world map, and you are back pretty much where you were before the side quest.
We've gone in a literal circle.
Before the side quest that happened. And yes, you've done a full circle of hexes here through the mountain and stuff. But you've uncovered a lot and you've learned a lot of things. I will say this much. If you had defeated the Cyclops, you would have been level 4.
I was honestly mulling that over in my head, but then I was like...
Because I feel like...
is it worth dying for a level?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
I was like, if they fight this and win, I have to give them level 4 for it, because that would be legendary. It was a CR6. I think you can handle it, honestly, but it's pretty dangerous. It's one of those things where we've learned that your crew is very good at bursting down like one individual thing, but its output is pretty dangerous. And I'm not going to tell you everything about it. Of course, you can Google it if you want, but if you don't want to, maybe we'll see the Cyclops again on the road. Who knows?
You know.
Right at the beginning, my thought was, if we kill this thing, Brad will probably give us a level. But I don't have the stats for a Cyclops memorized. If you'd named any one of the giants, I have them all memorized, and I could have been like, oh, we could fight that one. No, we can't fight that one. But then you said Cyclops, and I'm like, where on the spectrum is that? Above or below a hill giant? Like, I'm sitting here trying to remember, and I don't think I've ever looked at one or fought one before. So I'm like, I have no idea. I don't want to fight it.
I have. You rolled for a. The D8 was for a human or humanoid creature on the wilderness encounter. The D12 I think was for a Cyclops on the next thing, and I was laughing so much because of the odds that we were joking about it being a giant, and then it was one. I was like, okay. As soon as you were like, it's gonna be a giant, and then you rolled humanoid, I was like, it's gonna be a giant. One of the harder ones on there, though, listed as deadly on
Nice.
the on the table.
I think we could have taken it.
Yeah, you did all right. I think you probably could have done as well. So, that brings us to another close. We're gonna do a round of shout-outs here so that people can find out where they can find you and what you're up to in the week this week. Let's start with Disby. What are you up to? And what time do you stream?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Disby. I played Merlin Puck for you today. What a great episode today. You can find me at Twitch and Twitter at DisbyRx. I've been doing some GTRP over on NoPixel and might be playing some scary games tomorrow. So yeah, if you enjoyed that type of thing, come hang out. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Links for everybody is in the chat or in the wherever you're watching this. They'll be in the description as well. So make sure you go and follow these people. Throw them some Twitch Primes. They're not called Twitch Primes anymore, are they? What are they called now? And they changed the word.
Prime Gaming.
Prime Gaming subscription.
Prime Gaming.
Bezos
I still
bucks.
call them Prime subs.
Yeah. I will never be able to change it. I'm too old. If you tell me that's what it is, that's what it is forever. And I'm a stubborn old man. That's why I call Brian at twitch.tv/
Brad Wodo.
Nope. Well, I do call you that at twitch.tv/ Brad Wodo,
Yeah,
but I also
that's
call
why you
that.
said. That's why I call you Brian. You don't call me Brian on my channel.
Well, I do. I call you it all the time.
Okay.
Where is your channel? And what are you doing
It's
there?
Brutal Bree everywhere. Tomorrow I have Mistlight After Dusk, which is where I talk about this show.
Lot to
and that's
unpack
at 6
from this
p.m.
one, I think.
Yeah. Little bit. That's at 6 Eastern tomorrow. And then I've been playing the new Resident Evil, which is neato.
Have you been doing anything, really? I was concerned you weren't even going to make it here. You've been
all
dying.
week I've been dying. I was basically bedridden. I got my second COVID shot on Friday and didn't leave my bed until like yesterday. It was horrible. I still feel like garbage. So yeah, I'm not even wearing makeup. This is just how my face looks. But 10 out of 10 would recommend the vaccine.
Well, at least you're vaccinated.
I'm fully vaccinated now, so that's all that matters. But yeah, I'll be jumping back into Resident Evil on Monday, and then tomorrow's Mistlight After Dusk at 6.
All right. Nice. What about you, Leah? You've probably been feeling fine all week too.
Yeah, I'm feeling great. It's all good. I was just took a week off last week. Just needed a week off the anxiety, you know.
Yes,
Falling apart.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Leah. I played the ever conflicted, and that's all I'll say for Fix. Yeah, I'm actually kind of mad that so much happened to Fire there, and like we couldn't say anything. Like she had a dream and she didn't even mention it, so I was like, I want to know. But yeah, sorry, Brad told me not to yell down the mic, and I'm here like.
No, I'll turn you down. I'll turn you down. There, go. Shout as much as you want.
Wonderful. Yeah, hello, you can find me at twitch.tv/Leah sometimes, because at the moment I'm all over the place and everywhere, and I won't be here next week. But I'll be here, just not here. Vaguely. So, yeah, thanks for the great show. Thanks for watching.
Cryptic.
Yep.
More.
I'm going back to Poland. I just didn't want to say it.
Yes.
I was a few days in Poland. Yeah.
Yes, back and forth.
I can actually talk about it now, though. So.
Oh, that's nice. What are you doing in Poland?
I'm filming the Dying Light, Dying to Know episodes. Woohoo! Find out more about Dying Light too. #ad.
All right. Well, we're not sponsored, so.
#spons.
You dare.
#ad.
I'm kidding.
#spons.
What about young Fairlight Excalibur?
Hello. If you haven't figured my name out yet, Brad keeps referring to me by my first and last name like an angry parent every 30 seconds. So by now you probably know I'm twitch.tv/Fairlight_Excalibur, which is so long, I literally type it in chat. There you go, so you can click it. Yeah. It's easier. I played Will for you today, who I will also lay claim to the title of the Ever Conflicted. This is very conflicted right now. Yeah. And this was a fantastic session. It's nice to have the gang back together. The barbarians were fun, don't get me wrong.
So good.
But I was missing this last week. You know, there was a Mistlight shaped hole in my life last week. So no more skipping any sessions.
Yeah.
Ever.
No
you have a good birthday, Fairlight.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Which one?
Happy birthday! It's his birthday today, everybody.
Make sure you head over.
Make sure to gift him a sub. Or 5.
Prime.
Yeah, a Twitch Prime Gaming sub.
He's
Prime.
Aging at a year a week right now.
Yeah, it's wild, but
they will forever be Prime subs to me.
Yes, give them a Prime sub and give everybody else a Prime sub. Head on over and follow their channels. We will be back next week, same time and things and stuff. Remember, we have a new show that started on Table Story called Ungodly, which is on Sundays at
it's so good. So good.
Always forget because it's a different time. I want to say it's at 3 Eastern. But if,
I think it's
if
3.
If it's not at 4 Eastern, I can't do it because I have to do all the thing. Which is...
And also go watch Brad because...
Yeah, go check
No,
out Brad. Please.
Nothing going on
Go
my channel.
harass Brad.
I've actually deleted my channel.
Oh, no, he has not.
Over a copyright dispute with Dying Light. And yes, we have a new show, Ungodly. Make sure you check it out.
He forgot to say #ad.
Yeah.
Serious about
That's what
that.
did it. The worst crime ever committed. And Ungodly is on Sundays, and there's been one episode of that, so you can catch up in time for this week's episode live and join that. It's extremely funny with an all-star cast and Pumpkinberry. Asparagus in the chat. Also, don't forget to check out Mistlight After Dusk tomorrow on Bree's channel because it is a breakdown and a discussion and crazy theory crafting, such as what is the potion, which everyone got wrong, I think.
Well,
I actually have a a Google Doc which is called Good Chat Guesses, where I print screen random good chat guesses. I can say
Every time we talk.
The best one of the best ones was from week 3 of the main campaign, I think, from here, and one was from episode 8 of Mistlight After Dusk, which where some elements have been relatively close or hit the nail on the head. Every now and then, if I spy it, I'm not saying that, at the end of this, way in the future, whenever we come to the end of it, I will go through them and look at them. And, I'm sure I'll miss a bunch as well, but I very rarely get to see the chat during the live play here. But if I see it, I normally snatch it up because it's fun to see, because there's so many mysteries in this at the moment. Mysteries. But if you want to continue to theory craft and come up with ideas for what is going on and what things might mean and where places are and who's what, then Mistlight After Dusk is good for that. Also the Discord, we have a private Mistlight channel on the Discord. All of the links are available below. And that's it. Also, quick shout out to Zentia, who did the lyrics and a sort of version of the Mistlight theme that plays during the beginning of the streams and rolls during the rolling intro, which was made by Elspeth Eastman. And then Zentia did a cover and added some lyrics to it, and it was really cool, and I snatched it up and stole it and threw it on the beginning of the stream here today, just before we saw the dream sequence with Fire and Fire's brother. So shout out to Zentia TV, and thanks very much everybody giving fan art and things. I haven't got any fan art loaded up this week, but we'll take a look at some next week. That's all. We're done. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out. Bye.
Bye.